Tell us what you think. In person, over the phone, online. Watch and hear yourself on TV. You tell us, we air it. This is The Local Live.
Hello, Larchmont and Mamaroneck. It's 7:30 on Thursday, and you're watching The Local Live. I'm Rebecca Paganini, bringing you the latest news happening in our community. Let's see what we've got in store for tonight's show. Did you know that Mamaroneck School District was recognized by the White House? Stay tuned, because on our roundtable discussion, we'll learn why Mamaroneck was called a bright spot. Deer again on the agenda at the latest Village of Mamaroneck Board of Trustees meeting. The details coming up. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman comes to Mamaroneck High School. Stay tuned for the full story. Town of Mamaroneck Councilman Tom Murphy wants to meet with potential presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. More about that story next. Want to know what local stories are trending this week? Keep on watching for our segment In the Media. Attention sport fans, we have our LMC-TV Play of the Week. Find out more about Sheldrake Fall Festival. Stay tuned. And of course, we have an adorable pet of the week. Let's help her find a loving family. Following the issue about controlling the overpopulation of deer and coyote in the Village of Mamaroneck, the Board of Trustees passed a resolution to establish an ad hoc deer management advisory committee last Tuesday night.
I think I am glad that this board is finally realizing that, in fact, there is a deer management problem, an associated coyote problem, but really more deer management. Coyotes follow the deer. The trustee Finch recommended this, and I have no problem changing the mayor's ad hoc committee to an official Village of Mamaroneck deer management committee. This would be very helpful. On his recommendation, I would take, other than Sarah Roberts, who declined, and she wanted to come off because she's very busy with the tree committee, very honestly. So I would add to this resolution establishing an ad hoc committee with the existing members, Ben Golub, Melissa Leonard, Brad Goldberg, and Carlo Recca recommended or asked to go on. Gina. If that's okay with you, fine. If not, just keep the original.
And Gina Von Eyck also
and
requested.
Gina Von Eyck.
On Tuesday night, Town of Mamaroneck Councilman Murphy was at our very own LMC-TV studio recording a message for potential presidential candidate Bernie Sanders. Let's take a listen to hear Murphy's request.
Good evening, Senator Sanders. My name is Tom Murphy. I'm a councilman in the town of Mamaroneck, and I'm also a lifelong union member. And I'm also a lifelong Democrat. And the reason I've always been a Democrat is because Democrats have been the party that stood up for working people in this country. And lately, it seemed like a thin reed that we'd been holding on to. But then you came along. And I really believe that you speak to the needs of the working people, the cares of the working people, and the concerns of the working people. And there's so few people in politics now that are doing that. That's part of the reason why I ran for office, is to represent the needs, the concerns, and the hopes of working people. I don't do it near as well as you do, but I'm looking to, help with your campaign. I'm looking to help you promote your message in Westchester County. We're here in Mamaroneck, New York, which is centrally located. We're a few miles from White Plains, a few miles from Chappaqua, a few miles from New Rochelle. This program goes out all over Westchester County. And what we'd want to do is we want to talk to you about, what you want to bring to America, the change you want to bring to America, and how we can help not only my generation of working class people, but younger people, people who are now in their 30s and now in their 20s, who are looking for careers, who are looking for jobs with health care, who are looking for jobs with a future, who are looking for jobs that maybe have a pension. We used to have that. That was a guaranteed in the United States, that you'd get a job like that and you could earn a decent living and you could send your kids to college. But we lost that. We lost that somewhere along the way. And you're the only person who's consistently talking about those issues. So I'd like to help you. The woman here who's helping me direct this, her name is Dina Schumacher. She would also like to help you, and we will go anywhere from Boston to Washington, D.C., to meet up with your campaign, to do an interview with you. I know you have a lot of people asking for your time, but this is a real working class person who's looking to help you, and we have to help each other in this world. I respect you, and I also appreciate that you come from Brooklyn. I come from Manhattan, so we're two New York working people, and like I said, we're here to help, and I hope you avail yourself of it. But if you don't, you'll still have my support and my vote when you run in the New York primary. So thank you for all you're doing, and thank you for what you're doing for America, and God bless America. Thank you, Bernie.
Murphy's request for an interview is already available online on LMC-TV.org, as well as on LMC-TV's YouTube channel, LMC-TV Productions. We will be following this story very closely. Remember that videos on YouTube can go viral really quick, so for those viewers who sympathize with Sanders' ideas, you can help Tom Murphy by sharing and liking his video. Regardless of your political affiliation, if Murphy gets the interview, you'll definitely see this on LMC-TV. Now news coming from Mamaroneck High School. Last night, New York State Attorney Eric Schneiderman came to speak to our community about how to restore public trust and confidence in Albany. Here's a little bit of what he had to say.
As I've mentioned, I'm a believer in American political movements, and whether your biggest passion is the environmental movement or the labor movement and workers' rights or consumer protection, the thing you should be the second most passionate about is money in politics, because what is on the other side from you is usually someone with a big checkbook contributing to block common sense proposals to make most people's lives better. Nowhere demonstrated more dramatically than in the case of the environment, in which we are literally destroying our planet, and yet our elected officials seem to be unable to overcome these obstacles of that are generated, in my view, in large part by the current campaign finance system. Whatever your fight is, someone with a bigger checkbook is probably on the other side if common sense laws are not being passed. At the end of the day, I've told my colleagues in Albany over and over again, there are two paths forward. More scandals, more investigations, further erosion of public confidence, or more comprehensive reform than has ever been done before. I've presented a package of reforms I think would do the trick. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, but it's going to be reform at that level. It has to be comprehensive, and I'm working now to mobilize people into a reform movement.
Remember that you have full access to the full presentation on lmctv.org. Let's turn it over to Christian Golbiowski with our popular news stories in our community. This is In the Media.
This year, stink bugs have unfortunately damaged New York's apple orchards once again. And with the cold weather coming, their new favorite hiding spot is your house. But before you flush that creepy crawler down the drain, snap a picture, because scientists at Cornell are asking for help to track the spread of these bugs in New York. Use your smartphone to email your sighting to bmsbproject@cornell.edu. For more information, like tips of ridding your home of these pests, check out the full article on the patch. The weather is about to get colder, which means flu season is coming. So now is the best time to get your flu shot. And you're in luck, Westchester County, because you could get a free flu shot on November 10th at the Westchester County Center from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Registration is required, so to make sure you stay healthy this season, follow the link from the full article on the Mamaroneck Hamlet Hub. Now onto some more fun fall events. St. Thomas Church has their annual pumpkin sale going on this year, where all proceeds go to local charities. The pumpkin patch is open weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. and weekends 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. For more information on the pumpkin patch, the full story is on the Mamaroneck Hamlet Hub. If you're looking for some scarier fun this October, the patch has got you covered. With lists of the top haunted houses and spooky attractions in Westchester County, you won't have to go far to enjoy a good Fright Fest. And once again, the full list is on the patch. And lastly, your furry friend won't have to miss out on all the fun this Halloween. Shore Acres is hosting its annual Halloween Dog Costume Parade, which will take place on Sunday from 4 to 5 p.m. Tricks and treats will be provided for your pet. For more information about this event, check out the Mamaroneck Daily Voice. These are the popular stories from our local media. I'm Kristen Gobiowski.
The Mamaroneck School District recently was recognized by the White House and the Department of Education as a bright spot in Hispanic education, specifically for improving the achievement of Hispanic students for college access. This honor was announced as part of the 25th anniversary of the White House Initiative on Educational Excellence for Hispanics, and it was also during Hispanic Heritage Month, which coincidentally ends today. Tonight we're going to hear about the lauded initiative, how it works, and how it's affected lives of students, particularly in improving graduation rates and providing college access. As always, you can join the conversation by phone, email, or tweet. Just use the contact information on your screen. I'm Maura Carlin. With me are Dr. Robert Schatz, the superintendent of the Mamaroneck Public Schools, Waldina Pineda, an English teacher at Mamaroneck High School, and Jacqueline Bautista, a student who has participated in and does participate in the Mamaroneck Scholars Program. Dr. Schatz, actually all of you, thank you for joining us. But I'm going to ask to start with you, Dr. Schatz. Can you just give us an overview of the initiative and the programs involved? And for those of you watching, we're also going to put up a diagram showing the various programs.
Yes, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here. And we were thrilled to learn that the White House recognized us as a bright spot as part of their initiative for excellence and for Hispanic students. I would say that we have a comprehensive approach to this initiative. It's certainly focused on really closing the opportunity gap by allowing our system to really help Hispanic students have aspirational goals for college access. And the root of the program goes back to 2006 when we initiated at the middle school. We were one of 2 middle schools in the country to participate in a comprehensive program that really brought together parents, teachers, guidance counselors, students to really set what I would say is lofty goals for college access back in the middle school and to work to support them. The program has grown in many directions, and I would say that part of this program is to provide support for parents to really connect them to the school process. Part of it is to create opportunities for students. Part of it is really to think about those transitional years from middle school to high school, then high school to college, and provide the academic support, provide what I would say is an awareness of what's out there in terms of how the college process works, but also to kind of help students plan and set specific goals for rigorous courses. And so we're pleased that from that original initiative or plan, there have been many, what I would say, different programs that have sprung forward. And tonight you'll hear about one in particular at the high school, but it is about making sure that we have smooth transitions, that we have strong connections between school and home, and that we really help our students realize that all students have the potential to continue on to post-secondary education, but primarily Hispanic students as well.
What do you think, what would you call the biggest accomplishment or success of the program so far?
I would say for our school system, 5 years ago, our graduation rate for Hispanic students was approximately 68% of the graduating class. In 2014, almost 92% of our Hispanic students graduated from high school, and closing that gap has been certainly quite an accomplishment, and we're very proud of it. We want all of our students to graduate from high school, and it's nice to see that we're finally having Hispanic students graduate close to the rate of all other students.
Well, with me is one of the people who's responsible for helping get students to that point. Waldina, you are in charge of the Mamaroneck Scholars Program, right? And an English teacher at the high school. Why don't you explain what the program is and what it does?
So the Mamaroneck Scholars Program is a 2-year program for our junior and senior students. It's a support program, and it's essentially a community that provides academic support, emotional support, and social support. And it's for students who are taking higher level classes and AP classes. And essentially we want them to feel confident being in those classes and really help them find success in those classes.
Did you find there was a problem before that there was a lack of confidence?
I think sometimes students just need to feel like they're part of a community in order to reach their potential, to have a community of like-minded learners who are also going to help support them.
So I understand there are some very interesting things that the program does. Am I understanding correctly that you even take them on college visits?
Yes.
So tell me about some of those things that...
Sure. Last year we took our first college trip to NYU. It was a day trip. It was the first time many of our students actually visited a college, so that was pretty awesome for them to be able to see and visit a college. This year we had the wonderful opportunity with help from the PTSA to take our students on an overnight trip to Boston, and there we saw 3 colleges. We saw Tufts, Brandeis, and Lesley.
That's terrific. I know there's an AP and honors class component, trying to get Hispanic students into those classes?
Well, I think at Mamaroneck we're encouraging all students who we believe could be successful in those classes to take those classes. So Jackie is a student who we really believed in, is one of the many students we believed in. We believe in all of our students, but so she is currently taking AP classes. She took AP classes last year, and so our hope is that this program really helped her navigate those classes to
Well,
find
Jacqueline,
success.
let me hear about your experience. I mean, what has being part of Mamaroneck Scholars meant to you?
Well, when I started high school, I knew that it was a different transition, specifically because my parents I was the first one in my family to even attend a high school, so I knew that it was going to be hard, and I knew that I would not have the support that many of my other peers would have. And my freshman year and my sophomore year were not exactly easy.
In what way?
Well, besides the transition from middle school, which is
Hard enough for everyone.
It was the workload, the material, things that I hadn't been used to, and just material that I couldn't get help with at home. And I would spend a lot of my own time trying to comprehend the material, and time that my teachers thankfully offered me to help me with the material. But then as my transition from my sophomore year to my junior year, and we had to pick classes, I was very intimidated to pick AP classes because I knew that they were very rigorous and difficult, and I didn't think that I could do them.
But did somebody push you?
Towards the end of my sophomore year, we were presented with this program, with the Scholars Program, and I saw a lot of my peers, and I learned that they were all in somewhat of the same situation as me. Either a lot of them were first-generation students, or a lot of them didn't have the access to resources at home. And that was very calming. I knew that I had a community of people who were experiencing the same thing as me, and I was not alone. So I knew that there were other students struggling with courses and material. And eventually, once we started the program, all of us became very close. We all are very good friends now. We all have nicknames for each other. But most of all, we all succeeded in those AP classes. Not only did the program provide help from our teachers, but it provided help from each other. Because we would go home on regular days when we didn't have Scholars Program, and we would try to understand the material on our own. But when we were in the program, we would be there for more hours than Ms. Pineda needed to be there.
Let me ask so that I can understand. Is this something that you do after school? Does it fit into the school day?
Well, a lot of us, it's after school on Mondays and Thursdays, right after school. It's supposed to end at 4, but usually ends much later. Because we're all just,
by your choice or by her choice?
The student's choice. We're all sharing materials, making sure that we all understand it. I didn't understand it. Can you help me with it? Do you have that worksheet? I was absent. It's more of a community. We're all working together. And Ms. Pineda usually doesn't cut us off at 4 o'clock saying go home. She'll usually let us stay because she knows that a lot of us don't have that opportunity at home. And that's where all of us found that that's where we were, that's why we were able to succeed, because we had each other and the teachers that the program provided, and not just endless hours at home trying to figure it out.
Did you find that, what you learned from each other was just as important as what you learned from teachers?
Yes. Well, I think a lot of the teachers in our school that are teaching AP courses, they know that it's a difficult course, and of course those courses are taught differently in the sense that a lot of the students have to do the work on their own. And
For everyone.
For everybody.
Right.
However, a lot of the students who are taking those classes do have access to other resources that a lot of the students in the Scholars
You
Program.
mean like tutors?
Yes, tutors.
Okay.
And the students in the Scholars Program don't necessarily have access to tutors or to even money for a Barron's Help AP course book from Barnes & Noble. So
Is that right?
Yeah, if I can just say
Sure.
one thing that's really important, I think it's a common thread, and we're focusing on this in middle school, is it is as much as access to rigorous courses, but it's also supporting students to learn the skills of agency, of knowing how to ask for help, to have the confidence.
Advocating for themselves.
To take agency and ownership of saying, you know, I need to find a teacher who can help me understand this better, or how can I find with peers and work together to collaborate. So it is as much as academic support, but it's a mindset as well. And I think that certainly came through in Jackie's comments about, as a group, there's a sense of confidence that comes from being in the same situation.
Yeah, and I think I would also add to that, there's also, they've really developed grit together in this program. They don't give up, and so I've seen all of them work together as a group to solve one physics problem, and it will take them as long as it will, but they will stay there together as long as they need to solve that problem. And it's that drive to keep going and not give up that's also such a big and important part of this program.
Well, Dina, do you think, because you've now seen it from the adult perspective more years, do you think that the barriers or difficulties are financial, language, cultural, or something else?
I think many of the students, they are going to be the first in their families to graduate, many of them from high school and all of them from college. And I know from personal experience, I was also the first in my family to graduate from college, and that can be a difficult process to navigate when you don't have an adult who's done it. And
do you provide that support? Because that's different than academics.
Sure, absolutely. I think all of our parents, they came here for the educational opportunities, and so I think they provide us with that motivation and that inspiration and that drive. And my hope is that I can support our students with all of that other stuff that comes with it.
We actually have an email, and it's for you, Jacqueline. Do the colleges you visited, because I don't remember if you said, but you are looking at colleges. Yes. Do they offer programs specifically designed for Hispanic students?
A lot of the programs, a lot of the schools do. When we visited Tufts, they had a program called Voices, which offers undergraduate students to be exposed to the college life specifically at Tufts. If I remember correctly, a lot of the colleges do have houses or like community centers for students, because a lot of colleges now recognize that the experience of a Latino student or of just a student of color in general is much different than the experience of a white student or a privileged student.
If I can add, I think we have in some ways replicated what is happening at higher ed, recognizing that for first generation students, college students, they need to have the support because it is a daunting and overwhelming experience. And so they have developed programs that will help students along the way. And those kind of foundational ideas have translated into our program here. Certainly we're working with families, but it's the idea of how do you have academic support, how do you have social support, how do you really help them through. And so the idea of a bridge program or something is really to say you're not here by yourself. It is about our ability to help you through. And I think that's an important message because it is daunting to kind of continue on to a new experience that has a lot at stake.
Jacqueline, how do your parents feel?
Oh, they're very nervous about me going to college.
They are.
Well, because it's a new experience for them. The process is completely, they've never been exposed to something like this. So besides the money that every parent is worried about, they're worried about just me getting in.
Like every
Yes,
other parent.
Like every other parent. But I think specifically that that I get into a school that I deserve to go to, not a school. They don't want me to set my bar low just because I don't have resources and don't have access to things that other students may have.
So
they
they're
want me
pushing
to
you.
aim.
They're
Yeah.
pushing you, and I bet they're very
Yes,
proud of
and
you.
Everybody's pushing. Miss Pineda's pushing me, and I appreciate it.
Well, before we wrap up, Dr. Shaps, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Being named a bright spot is certainly an honor. Any chance it comes with any money for the district?
No, this is more about a recognition about hard work and a commitment to students and families. And I think for us, the sense of pride about our school system and what it means to dedicate time and effort to a worthy, certainly, initiative and be recognized by the White House and be very proud of that. That's a reward in itself.
Well, I want to thank all of you for joining us. Good luck to you, Jacqueline. We're all rooting for you. Believe it or not, we're already out of time. Thank you for joining us. We will be back in a moment with the answer to the trivia question, and we'll have more community stories.
This week in sports, the Rye Neck field hockey team took the field against Pleasantville, looking for their first win of the season despite having 4 ties. Senior captain Rosella Salanitro found pay dirt for the only goal in the game. The Panthers ended up winning the LMC Varsity Play of the Week.
In the middle, shot scored. Rosella Salanitro had some space in front. 1-0 Rye-Neck.
I watch the local live so that I can ask questions about my community.
Caller, go ahead.
I watch so I can find out what's going on the go.
Because I catch up at any time, from anywhere, and see any show. Shh!
You tell us, we air it. This is the local live.
Sheldrake Fall Festival is in the spotlight. Roll it.
We're here at the Sheldrake Environmental Center to tell you about an exciting event coming this weekend. Executive Director Mary Ellen Kelly would like to invite the community to their fall festival.
This year it is on Sunday, October 18th from 1 until 4. And there are all kinds of events that are including a live raptor show. Our animal expert will be giving a demonstration on the hunting techniques of both a hawk and an owl. Animal Olympics, where kids get to act out animals. We are going to have a beekeeper here, and the kids will get to roll honeycomb candles.
On the day of the event, tickets will be $7 for members and $10 for non-members. But if you purchase your ticket online at sheldrakecenter.org, before October 18th, members can get in for $5 and non-members for $8, and children under 2 are free.
Have some live music. The SUNY Purchase opera singers, the students will be doing an act of Hansel and Gretel. There will also, the Larchmont Music Academy students will be here, and the kids will get to do a hands-on drum circle. We also have weekend family programs. We run a composting program. We teach volunteer educators, so we do an adult ecology program. We have preschool Young Explorers programs, and all of it is really centered on connecting people with nature and teaching them about the environment in the area.
You won't want to miss this, so mark your calendars for this Sunday from 1 to 4 at the Sheldrake Environmental Center. With the Local Live, I'm Kristen Gobiowski.
This is Kenzie, an adorable, loving, and smart beagle mix who is approximately 2 years old and weighs about 30 pounds. She's very intelligent, learning new commands very quickly. Kenzie's housebroken, crate chained, a cuddle bug, loves to run and play with other dogs. She's friendly with cats and rides well in a car. If you want to adopt Kenzie or browse for other wonderful pets, you can. Go online at www.ny-petrescue.org. Thanks so much for tuning into the Local Live. Be sure to check out our website for more news and community programming, www.lmctv.org. And for internships and volunteer opportunities, send your emails to thelocallive@lmctv.org. We love hearing from you. That's the news for this week. I'm Rebecca Paganini. Tune in next week for another edition of the Local Live.
Tell us what you think. In person, over the phone, online. Watch and hear yourself on TV. You tell us, we air it. This is the Local Live.